Large gun shipment found at Freeport again. Beryllium security guard shot dead while winter storm caused havoc across Northeast United States. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. A powerful winter storm swept across the northeastern parts of the U.S., bringing the highest snowfall in 2 years. Some areas recorded up to 15 inches of snow. Travel chaos as usual was expected, with hundreds of flights delayed or canceled due to the strong northeastern. Officials in several states urged commuters to work from home and avoid non-essential travel because of the dangerous condition. Schools in New York City and Boston and other tri-state areas either closed for the day or had students attend classes remotely. Florida, me miss you. The police have reported that 14 guns and 15 magazines were found hidden among household items during a security operation at the Freeport warehouse in Montego Bay in St. James. The illegal items were intercepted last Friday in a blue plastic barrel addressed to a recipient in Bogue Village in Montego Bay. The operation was carried out by the Jamaica Constabulary Force and Jamaica Customs Agency. Officers from the Jamaica Customs detected anomalies within a shipment from Florida, USA during routine scanning, and the police said the suspicious consignment prompted a thorough examination by the contraband enforcement team. The illegal guns were seized about 10 a.m. on Friday, and the police are now seeking a person of interest in relation to the gun seizure. He is identified only by several aliases: CJ, Fugitive, and Shippy. The St. Andrew North Police are searching for a suspect behind an attack at the Oakland Apartments complex in St. Andrew on Tuesday morning, in which a 35-year-old businessman was shot. And it's reported that about 9 o'clock yesterday, the businessman was leaving his apartment when he observed a man standing by the elevator. The man then approached him, held him around his neck, and demanded his belongings, and this led to a struggle between the two. During the struggle, the businessman was shot in the hand. The gunman then jumped into a waiting Toyota Probox motor car with two other suspects aboard and fled the scene. And this is supposed to be a good neighborhood with security gates to get in, but it seems nowhere in Jamaica is safe these days. Two men were taken into custody on Tuesday following the seizure of a high-powered weapon during an operation conducted in Salt Spring, St. James by the Narcotics Police. Documents with the addresses and identities of people living overseas were also seized. Both occupants were taken into custody and are being held on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Firearms Act as well as the Law Reform Fraudulent Transaction Special Provisions Act. A 50-year-old man who reportedly fled police custody to attend his mother's funeral was sentenced to 3 months in prison for escaping. Horace Clark of McVickers Lane in Spanish Town in St. Catherine appeared in the parish court last week, and it's reported that on January 6 of 2024, Mr. Clark was apprehended by the police on a warrant for driving with an expired motor vehicle certificate of fitness and was arrested. While at the police station, he told officers that his mother had died and that he wanted to attend her funeral. After later asking to use the bathroom, he was escorted there by officers, but he managed to escape from the police station. And in court last Tuesday, Clark's attorney made a submission for leniency on his behalf and pleaded for a non-custodial sentence. The attorney said this was appropriate given that her client attended his mother's funeral and then after surrendered to the police. Parish Judge Janelle Nelson Gale, however, went against the attorney's submission and handed down a 3-month prison sentence. And it's funny how the judges can make man who shoot people go free, but a man with an expired tag run from jail to attend his mother's funeral get sent to jail. Businessman Omar Cullimore, who is accused of orchestrating the January 2018 murder of his wife Simone Campbell Cullimore, was one of his beneficiaries of her $120 million life insurance policy, according to reports. Cullimore and his 3 co-defendants Michael Adams, Dwayne Pink, and Shaquille Edwards are being tried for the murder of his wife and taxi driver Winston Watson. Mrs. Campbell Cullimore's mother testified that she found the policy in the couple's office after her daughter's death. She said the couple's 2 children were the other beneficiaries of the life insurance policy, and it was reported that on January 2nd of 2018, Mr. Watson was transporting Miss Campbell Cullimore home when gunmen opened fire on the vehicle along Stanley Terrace in Red Hills in St. Andrew. Her husband, Omar Cullimore, was arrested at the Norman Manley International Airport a day before his wife's funeral. And in March of 2021, one of his co-accused, 24-year-old Wade Blackwell, was sentenced to life imprisonment after pleading guilty to killing Miss Campbell Cullimore and Mr. Watson. The Criminal Investigation Branch and the Kingston Central Police are probing the fatal shooting of a security guard on the compound of the Beryllium headquarters on South Cam Road on Tuesday morning. The guard was fatally shot by one of his colleagues, and preliminary reports are that the guard, who is a reservist in the Jamaica Defense Force, was accidentally shot, and he's Kevin Hunter of Scarface Pathway, Kingston 12. It's reported that about 11:15 a.m., Hunter was attempting to board a Beryllium truck on the compound when the weapon of another guard who was also entering the same vehicle accidentally discharged, and Hunter was shot in the chest. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, the police have identified a person of interest in the fatal shooting of a young woman and the wounding of a man on Kent Avenue in St. James on Monday. The deceased is 20-year-old Denisha Samuels, otherwise called Anna, of Warwicker Hill in Norwood in the parish. The suspected shooter has been identified by his alias Stephen of a Rose Heights address, and he's the ex-boyfriend of Miss Samuels. Stephen is now being asked to report to the St. James Police for questioning. It's reported that shortly after 8 o'clock on Monday evening, Miss Samuels was overheard having a heated argument with her ex-boyfriend in the vicinity of a popular food establishment on Kent Avenue, and he reportedly left the location, returned in a white Toyota motorcar, and opened gunfire at the woman. Responding officers from the Barnett Street Police Station discovered Miss Samuels with bullet wounds to her head and upper body. She was pronounced dead at hospital. And it seems as if every time a woman leaves a man these days, they're getting murdered. On to sports, the 2024 ISA Tip-Friendly Society Schoolgirl Football Competition got underway, and the two first games had many goals galore. Last season's runner-up Homewood Technical defeated Glenmore High 11-0 to open their account right away in the first game of the doubleheader. Jamara James scored 4 goals in the 20th, the 40th, and the 53rd and 75th minute, while Regina Powell scored in the 3rd, the 18th, and the 61st and the 68th minute. Makeda McLean scored in the 25th and the 50th minute, while Abby K. Reed in the 40th and Elia McAnuff in the 65th were the other scorers. And in the second game, Excelsior High swamped St. Andrew Technical High 5-0. Requana Richards led the way for the defending champions with 3 goals in the 11th, the 33rd, and the 68th minute, with Audrey Semmett in the second and Destiny Powell in the 37th minute were the other scorers. A total of 43 teams are currently participating in this females competition, and there are schools from all across the island taking part and are fitted in zones just like in the DaCosta Cup and the Manning Cup, so teams don't have to travel too far. And it was quite disappointing when I saw only one school from Westmoreland in the competition, and that was Frome Technical. Maybe Manning's girls too stush to play football these days, but back in the days, Manning's would be one of the first name you hear in any sports in Western Jamaica, and things have changed for real. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this radio station. If you miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and please subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports. I gone.